Okay, thank you for coming for us. And I'd like to ask you something about electronic keyboard ensemble and electronic keyboard. My first question, why did you determine to play piano concert with electronic piano? Usually pianist doesn't like electronic piano. For practice is okay, but not for concert. Yeah, it is my first question. And second is, you are a pianist, and at the same time you are a conductor. Yeah. So, what is your opinion about electronic organ ensemble? Maybe you cannot see like this electronic organ ensemble in Europe and America. You say that you often visited America. Okay. It is my first question. So please, audience,
yes,
there, audience are there.
Yes, these are two very important questions. I think the first question: why do I choose this instrument, and why do I perform this in concert? Why? Because I have never done this before, and I'm very curious about how it turns out, and I want to see new possibilities and be able to determine whether this is something good or not, and so to find out I have to do it. And so after the first rehearsal, I must say I'm very impressed by the facilities of this new technique, of new technology, and I have worked with modern technology before, like on the computerized piano we have from the Bösendorfer factory in Vienna. I have done some recordings on that, and so I have always been interested in using new facilities, new ideas, and use them for artistic purposes. I think this is very important to make history happen and to make history move and feel and keep the mankind in motion all the time.
Thank you very much. And I call like this concert chamber concert because compared with big orchestra, there is chamber orchestra and grand opera and chamber opera. That's why I call this style is chamber concert. Yeah. It makes sense?
Yes, this is very ambivalent because on one side, of course, it is a small group of players, so this makes it a chamber music ensemble. But on the other hand, the sound these electronic organs produce, that is really the sound of a symphony orchestra, not of a chamber orchestra. So there are a few players, but there is the sound of a full orchestra of, let's say, of the Romantics, middle of 19th century, with big string section and many woodwinds. And so, well, you can call it both, I think.
Okay.
Both makes sense. Yeah. But to come to the orchestra sound now, this is amazing for me, which quality this has reached, and with all this sampling of the natural sound of the instruments, and I think this is a great progress. When I see the electronic piano, there could still be maybe some improvements in the way the touch is reacting to the playing, for instance, especially in the piano, in the soft sections. Now I have to adapt many places to this instrument, but in general I think it is on a very far advanced level.
Okay, anyway, Professor Noguchi called that electronic organ ensemble Japan Electronic Orchestra. Yeah, that's why your explanation is very nice for him.
Yeah. Well, this reminds me actually on something I have done in the United States many years ago. we had an ensemble of pianists.
Pianist?
Yes. And
how many?
Up to 13.
13.
This was the maximum. We had seven grand pianos, and 6 of them were used forehand by groups of 2 people, and the 7th one was in the center, and I was kind of directing this ensemble from the center piano, and we played Beethoven symphonies by this instrumentarium, and this was a nice experience, and this is actually what we have done here now with the electronic organ orchestra. This is what we would like to have done in the United States in the 90s of the 20th century. So this is kind of fulfilling a wish I had many years ago.
And you saw the electronic organ player play with score reading. How do you think about it?
This is a very good skill actually, because normally we only have these 2 stuff, piano part, and here you really, I mean, I am not only a pianist, I also am an orchestra conductor, and I know what score reading means, that you really have to be very aware of all the parts of the orchestra to make them happen in the right moment, and what the players here do is really very challenging. I think they do it very well.
Unfortunately, electronic organ in Europe and disappeared in European country and United States. How do you think about future possibility of electronic organ ensemble in Europe or in US?
Yeah, well, this is a different aspect, I think, of electronic organ, because in former years, in former decades we had the Hammond organ, and so this was used for pop music and for jazz, and this has been very, very funny for some years, and maybe then people got tired of it because it did not develop. And this is this electronic organ orchestra. It's something which is really a new development, and we did not have before. And for instance, I hear people are even majoring in this instrument here in Japan, and for us in Europe we have not had this idea yet, and so there could be a great future of this, and we just need to promote it in the right way to see it is not just entertainment, but it's really serious artistic matter behind it, and this is important to bring this message out to the people.
And before you listened to JEO, Japan Electronic Orchestra's CD.
Yes.
What is your impression about that?
Yeah, this was really surprising, because I did not expect this high fidelity in sound compared to the original, and I wanted to hear it real happening live in the hall, and I think this is done very, very well.
And something do you want to say to our society's member? Not for my question.
Yes. Is this a society of organ players or just of enthusiasts?
Educators and players, everybody who are interested in electronic keyboard.
Well, this could really cause a revolution in musical appreciation, because this might renew a tradition which has gone lost totally in most countries in our time now, this idea of making music yourself, not just listening to recordings, but play yourself. And this was done in the 19th century in all the households of the middle class in Germany and in Austria and in all our European traditional countries. Almost everybody learned to play piano, and everybody tried to play favorite pieces himself on the piano. And after the development of record and CD, this has disappeared, and the electronic keyboard could renew this idea of tradition.
For live music.
Yes, live music.
Live
Yes.
music is most important.
Like, yes, like Yehudi Menuhin called his foundation, live music now. Music must always be here.
He-
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.